What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Patrick's here. We were just flying. We're back, I hope.
Yep.
What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. My computer sucks a big bag of dicks. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Friday night
$2 for a new
fart
PC.
bags.
Thank you.
Patrick is here making fun of me for having a computer that shit the bed immediately. Rightfully so. RC Ritter FPV with a $2 super chat. He says new PC. Eventually, car first, then PC. In the chat, Richard was first. B-Man FPV, Paul McDonald, Frank Nichols, Brett Marak, Rob Logan Jr., C Young 300 Athix, Scott FPV, Demenis, S Grace, Doom FPV, Scott RC, Roscoe Gillen, Mr. Huggy, Late Night Scope, Kevin Summer, Quad Doc, RC Ritter again, Espander, Ram Donko, Late Night Scope. If you want the gangliest to gangle your gangle, you gotta come in early and gangle my face, you gangly gangles. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, just type CiottiFPV, because that's going to get it to light up in orange like this. B-Man said, what's up? C-Young said, no flying here today, it's raining, what's up? Doom said, hello everyone. Scott Gillen said, what's up? RC Roscoe in the house. Also said, what do you think about the T-Motor F7 and 55 Pro 2 stack? I purchased 3 complete stack kits before the shortage, so I could have 3 identical glide builds. I'm about ready to maiden. I haven't used the T-Motor electronics personally, but I've heard from a bunch of people that they're really good. So you're probably good to go with that setup, Scott. Scott FPV says, sorry, Scott FPV. Jesus. Started up squeak build. Can't keep my mind on it. Just bury yourself in those builds, Scott. You need yeah. Just bury yourself in that build, brother. I'm sorry. That sucks. Scroll. Espander says it's not working. Michael Blade says, hey. RC Ritter's super chat. Thanks again, brother. Richard says, yes, we back. Espander says, hi, Patrick. And we're caught up. We are going to do finishing touch stuff on the Glide quick stream. Bot goes on in 45 minutes, and then Patrick and I are going to hang out. It's been a crazy week for me.
We've got a lot to fix today, though, after our little rip session.
Yeah, we went out and broke. What did we break?
Oh, just a
5 rigs between the two of us?
Little teeny tiny.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Little camera.
Well, let's see. All right, let's see if maybe it'll link up to the computer. So I finally flew the Insta360 Go 2, and I'm pretty sure what happened is that I didn't turn it all the way on, and then I went ahead and crashed it on the first battery, and I think it's exploded. So let me really quickly hook it up to the laptop and see.
Yeah, that'll do it.
This is what it now looks like. The plastic is all broken. It's got marks on it. The lens is fine, but it's because it's removable. But it's yeah, it's broken. All is lost. Come on, this camera. There we go. So I'm gonna put it in the case. It doesn't act right when it's in the case. It just like keeps saying connecting forever. That's not the right cable. I need a different cable. God damn it. Hold up. So yeah, let's see. There's a pretty good chance that I broke it on the first crash, which is, you know, like I was joking about that. It's very annoying that it actually happened that way. But that's what I get. That's what I get for joking about it. All right, so let's see. Let's see if it really did blow up. I mean, it was a pretty good hit. I got to be honest. It was. I slammed it pretty good. What do we got here? Insta360 Studio 2021. Well, wait, no. I should just be able to find it in the Finder, right?
Does it come up as a drive?
Oh my god. I'll just skip this version, it's fine.
Notice how you still have your original Insta360.
Yeah, that one's not blown up. Yeah, it's not mounting, so that's not a good sign. It's blown up. Well, yeah. Don't be like me. So, awesome. Not crashable, but I did get it from Best Buy with the Geek Squad protection, so I just have to go that route. And it'll send me another one that I can maybe get some footage on this time. I just wanted to know if I was going to have Jello issues. And
it did.
Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
It does now.
Okay. Well, so there's that, which is frustrating.
You're plentiful over here.
I know, right? Man.
See you at high times.
Man. Just blew it right on up. It just, what it's doing is it just sits here on the connecting. It just says connecting forever. Oh no, there it goes. It just connected. Hold on.
I had it work once.
Hold on, let's see.
But you don't think it recorded the video, right?
I don't think it did. I hit the button on it once. I didn't hit the button on it a second time. So I don't think that it recorded any video. So in the application, it says connect Bluetooth, but then it just keeps saying connect Bluetooth forever. It is connected in here though, which is nice. But I can't do anything with it just connecting in here. So I'm going to give up. I'm going to play with this, and I'll have more info for you guys on Sunday? Sunday. So yeah, there's that. Athix says, breaking something first try with CiottiFPV, what is new? Indeed. Kevin Summers says, how many times do you think you're going to say YouTube did the thing again tonight? Probably not much, because I'm just going to do some stuff over here, and then, yeah. So let's just dive into that. I can. Demenis says, "Can you put it in pairing mode?" Yeah, I'll play around with it, but I don't want to do it on the stream. So let's faff about with the Basher Glide. First thing I'm gonna do. Jack up your car. First thing I'm going to do really quick is solder these motor wires on because it won't take long. We're going to get some flux on all the pads like that and like that. All of the motor wires are the right lengths, so this is going to be pretty quick, pretty straightforward. And then we're just going to do a couple like finishing touches, things that actually make a difference in how your shit crashes and hopefully survives. So yeah, I want to show you guys that. Soldering iron is at 700-ish degrees. Let's clean the tip a little bit here. And that's what she said. All right, let's get these guys zapped on here. We're gonna just get these routed the way that I want them to be. And that looks good. All right. Motor number 4 first. I like to put this outside wire facing forwards like that, and then the rest of them I put at as steep of an angle as I can to keep them as tucked in as possible, so that when you're crashing through all that scraggle, you don't rip the wires off of the ESC pads, hopefully. So that's what we're going to do here. Let me just tin the tip of the iron a little bit. And that should help. Yeah, there we go, much better. So we're gonna get this on at an angle here. There we are. Next up. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just use like my right index finger to put the stripped part of the wire in the right spot, and then I just clamp down with the tweezers to hold it there, and then you just bring the heat in, flow the whole thing together, and away you go. Not the prettiest joint ever. Let me come back in. Get this thing a little better here. Yeah, there we go. Come on. There we go. That's a little better. Nope, no it's not. That looks horrifying. Why is this being such an asshole? Try this again here. Ah, there we go. That wire was just flattening out in a weird way. Hey, that's much better. Alright, cool. So let's keep going. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit. That's a funny joke. Coming at an angle. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. That would have sucked. That's the right one. Okay. Put this guy out here. Melt. You bastard, melt. Yeah. Soldering. What great, not much fun. Oh, come on. There we go. That's better. Oops, nope, there we go. Hey. Make sure that you breathe in as much of the soldering fumes as possible. If you're using leaded solder, it's good for you. Keeps you strong. I'm gonna get in trouble for shit like that. Okay. Number 2. Who does he work for? I might actually need to get a new tip for this soldering iron. It's just not doing super well lately. Which makes a lot of sense. I've left this soldering iron on overnight like at least a dozen times now. I'm the worst. Alright, this guy sits flat. I'm going to get caught up in the chat in 1 second. Let me just get this guy down here. I think there's enough. I think this wire is tinned enough that I don't need to add any solder. I'm of course wrong. Now we're good. Nope, we're not. Looks terrible. Do it again. Okay. One more hit from the soldering iron here and we'll be set on this side of the rig. We can get caught up on the chat, blast through the other side. And then we can do some of the last minute secrets and whatnot. And then we'll wrap it on up for the night. There we go. That's better. And what in the hell just happened? How does this look so bad? What is Why did that piece of the wire shoot out in that awkward ass direction? Bring him back in here. There we go. You guys can't see what I'm doing, can you? It's probably super zoomed. I know it's all the way zoomed out. You guys know how to solder, though. All right, that should be good. I think that's okay. Let me take a quick look with the loop. Make sure nothing is like obviously bridged. Nah, we're good. Not my best work, but not my worst. We're gonna do that side. What are you guys talking about over here in the chat? Ramdonko says DJ has a second cam. News to me. I don't know. Espander says got my quads from under the bridge. Engineers took them down. Nice. Handed them to the police as suspicious evidence, and after almost 2 weeks, got them home delivered by a cop. Cop was really cool. Wow, that's ridiculous, Espander. Suspicious devices. Jesus, delivered by the service at your. I mean, you know, you're paying for their salary. They should do something for you. Demenis says. General price for this build. General price for what build? What are you guys talking about? I'm confused. Demenis says, also, what are those LEDs on the arms for? They serve a purpose other than lighting. Nope, just lighting. They do take prop strikes better than the wires, though, so that's good. Ricardo says, I live in a city center. It's not easy to find places to fly. Do you think smaller sizes like 3-inch class can or one day become bigger than 5-inch rigs? Thanks. Probably not, but 3 and 3.5-inch rigs, I mean, as Patrick and I were just sort of exemplifying, like, they almost fly as good. I mean, in terms of, like, tuning and just being generally dialed in, a properly built, properly spec'd out 3-inch, 3.5-inch rig, it's every bit of the flight experience. It doesn't have the mass for those big throws, but in a smaller location, you don't need that much mass for big throws like that. So, yeah, it's 3-inch for life.
Your radio cover for you. Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Can I show these guys? Look at this.
Fuzzy QX7 cover.
It's just what you need. Nice and purple.
JT Custom Knives says I need an action camera, GoPro 10, or wait to see what DJI comes out with. Whatever DJI comes out with, I can't imagine it's going to be as good quality as the GoPro 10, so I don't think there's going to be much of an overlap. I think if they come out with that square thing, it's going to be like a session. The GoPro 10 is more like a cinema camera than a session. So, yeah, if you're looking for something for freestyle, I would maybe wait to see what DJI comes out with. If you're looking for something for, you know, the quality of the video, I would go with the Hero 10. Athix says soldering doesn't have to be perfect, just good enough. Espander says they were packed in police evidence bags. Nice.
Printed and shit. They're probably printed.
That's so cool. That's so awesome. Cool. I flew the Rip Squeaks today on 4S 850s in full-blown fat-ass mode, and they were amazing. Even the one on the 1504s, actually, the Rip Squeak. Get this, the Rip Squeak on the iFlight 1504s, also carrying the 26-gram Insta360 Go 2 for one battery before I blew it up. Felt totally fine. I took the Insta360 off of it, and it felt a lot better, admittedly. But the damn thing was probably like 270 grams with the Insta360 Go 2 on it. So, yeah, the Rip Squeaks with the 3-inch DAL 3028 props, the iFlight 1504 motors, and 4S 850s is, I think, my favorite micro combo of all time. I still want to back-to-back it with the rip squeak on the Toka 1505s and the other rip squeak on the RCX 1306s, but man, the 4S 850s on there, I like it. I like the little bit of extra weight. It's really, really nice. Ramdago says, I'm just sorting 2.5 inch going to 3, but it's plenty. Forgot who asked. I like 2.5 inch because the Emax Avan Rush props. But other than that, 3 inch is king. And to be honest with you guys, now that we have the Dow 3028 propellers, I really like the reasoning behind running 2.5 inch kind of goes out the window. Patrick agrees on those Dow 3028 props.
Amazing.
They are brilliant. So get you some. Unfortunately, they don't have them in really good colors, but you'll live. You'll live. It's actually, it really annoys me that they don't make them in smoke crotch gray. But hopefully this will inspire GemFan to make a nice strong 3030 propeller. That would be really, really nice. And they'll make them in gray because they know what's up. And they take good care of us. Freestyle fools. Okay, so let's get these other 6 motor wires tacked down here. And then we can talk about a couple little last second secret tricks that you want to do on all your builds before you put them all the way back together. Alright, that's looking good. We got one more here for motor number 1. And then we can move on to motor number 2. Alright. Got this guy dropped in. I don't understand why there's like not nearly enough solder on any of these. I didn't remove any. There we go. Okay. That looks good. And then the last one here, let's just get this knocked out real quick like. First one at a 90-degree angle. Good to go. And the second one, get this wrapped under here. And nah. Well, yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. And then the last one. Just get this up and over. Clean this big ugly ass blob of solder off here real quick. There we go. Okay, and then let's get this dropped down. Oh, come on. Flow the pad, yo. Really? You a dick like that? There it is. Okay. I have to redo this middle one. It doesn't, there's a chance that it didn't flow all the way down to the pad. There's a chance that it's a cold solder joint, and that is not okay.
They only come apart at 150 feet going 64 miles an hour. So you'll be fine.
You'll be alright. You'll be good. So yeah, you guys got to see the little Wii-Mix rescue mission at the beginning of the stream there, hopefully, before the whole stream went to hell. That was one of the craziest crashes I've ever seen. Patrick banged into that pillar face first, and it didn't bounce at all. It just stopped.
What was I doing? I was probably doing 25, 30 miles an hour at a
Yeah.
45-degree angle.
Yeah, and it just stopped. It didn't bounce off the edge or anything. Crazy. So, the one main thing that I want to talk about is is nuts. I want to talk about nuts. Nuts on your flight controller. So this is actually one of the more important things. You should be paying attention to this. If you're not, you're missing out. So I'm getting these wires clear of the flight controller. Basically, when you're putting nuts on your flight controller, you just want to make sure that you're not putting them too tight. And I'm going to show you guys how I keep from that happening. But first, I've got a little shorty up front here, which I'm using with a plastic, a little plastic 1 millimeter thick. So in case you didn't know, these little M2 plastic nuts, there are some that are 1 millimeter thick. There are some that are 2 millimeters thick. Pay attention to that. It's nice to have the little 1 millimeter thick ones when space is super limited, like it used to be in this location. It's actually not, but I'm just gonna leave it because I'm being lazy and I don't feel like replacing the hardware that comes up through the base plate. So one of the ways that you can make sure that you don't over tighten the nuts on the flight controller is to like just use your finger, like what I'm doing here, to tighten the damn things. Alright, so that one's on there. Let me show you with the rest of these. Ooh. So I'm gonna grab 3 of these little plastic M2 nuts. And so when you put these guys on, use your fingers, keep your finger up over top of it, right? Get it spun on. And then, once you have it spun on, just use your finger to tighten it the rest of the way. Just push down on it and then rotate your finger. Maybe come on the sides. But like basically with these tiny little M2 nuts, your big fat fingers are not going to be able to over tighten them. You can also use your fingernail like this. Just do it nut face by nut face by nut face by nut face. And by the time like your fingernail runs out of grip, usually it's not too tight. But to check it, what you're going to do is look at it sideways like that and push down on it. And what you want to see is you want the grommet to compress, but then you want it to bounce all the way back up. You don't want it to, you don't want the PCB, so there's the screw, you don't want to push it down and then have it only come up like that. You want it to come all the way back up. That's really the biggest thing that you want to pay attention to when you're doing these guys. So let me do these other 2. And I'll try to kind of show you guys the wrong way on the front here. So if I don't tighten this down enough, so the reason that happens sometimes is that you put the flight controller on, but you don't push it down far enough for the grommets to go all the way down on the screw to whatever spacer you have on the bottom. So that's why it's really important to come in after you've put the little nut on and push it down a little bit extra. So right now, that's as much as I can get the nut tightened, right? But watch what's going to happen. I have a funny feeling you guys aren't going to be able to see this, but I'm gonna try my best. So watch what happens, right? When I push it down for the first time, see the gap? See how there's that gap now above it? That's no good. Now we gotta tighten this tighten this nut down even more. So that's the big thing that you're looking for when you do this, is that you screw the nut on, but then when you think you have it tight, push down pretty good on the flight controller, and then look for a gap between the top of the grommet and the little nut up on top. And if there is a gap, come back in and tighten the nut down some more, and then just keep doing that. Just keep going back and forth, and now we're good to go. So we got one left here, and I mean, once you have 3 of these things on, the flight controller is going to be held down enough where you're going to be golden. But just check it anyway. So you're going to screw the nut on as far as your fingers can get it, because that's not going to be too tight. Push down on the flight controller to make sure you compress the grommet and you seat it all the way down, as far down as it wants to go, and then come back in and make sure that you can't tighten the nut anymore. And like sometimes you'll see that when you push down on the flight controller to compress the grommet, like you'll see the nut move a little bit. That usually means that you need to tighten the nut up a little bit. And then when they're all on, push down on the flight controller again just to make sure that there's some movement. You don't want these so tight that you've hard mounted the flight controller. That's not the point. You want the flight controller to be able to move a little bit. And you can even kind of push it left and right a little bit. And maybe even rotate a little bit. So there you go. That's the right way to mount your flight controller and make sure you haven't over tightened it. When you are routing your camera wires, take a second to try to route the wires in a way that there's no chance of the wires coming out and getting into the propellers. So in my case, what I'm going to do is lift up a little bit on this flight controller to ESC cable, and I'm gonna run this cable coming out of the camera under that, and then turn it. I'm actually gonna run it over it. Yeah, so I'm gonna run this part over it, and I'm gonna put the remote part under it, and that's gonna hold the cable in position. So I can put this little remote thing right in here in front of the ESC, and then this camera connector is going to go up and over. And that way, just give it a little thought. Like when you're plugging the camera in, just give it a little bit of thought. Try to figure out like how, if there's any possible way for this to kind of sneak out. And if there is, take care of that, because you do not want your camera cable getting out the side of the rig and getting chopped up by the propellers. That is not a good day. So there we go with that. And I actually think I'm gonna, let me give this another second of thought. So that's gonna be up there. This isn't really long enough now. We should be okay here. Well, actually, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this little bundle of wires to the inside. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, just always take a second to kind of organize the wires and get them into spots where they're going to stay centralized and not get sucked out. And then the other thing that you want to check on is your crossfire and your VTX. Make sure that they're not just VHB down. You want to use VHB and a zip tie and a crap strap or something like that. In this case, I'm using the crap strap as well as VHB. So I'm going to just peel off this old VHB. We're going to chop a new little piece here. Yeah, just basically don't rely on only VHB to hold your VTX and your receiver in. I know that they seem really lightweight, but when you start smashing into shit really hard, it'll still rip them right off of the VHB. So make sure that you have some positive retention other than double-sided tape on your little communications bundle with your VTX and your receiver. And you'll be absolutely fine. So we got a fresh little piece of VHB there. Let's get this guy dropped down. I like to use shrimp wrap on both the VTX and the receiver. Push them down. Get your little crap strap here. Go through. Grab the other end and pull it in. And you don't need the crap strap or the zip tie to be like cranked down. You just want them to be on there lightly, so that they hold everything in place. And then of course we need some nuts on the ESC. This is also a really good time to check your antenna mount. If you're using a TPU mount, like I do, make sure there's good retention on the antenna wire, especially if you're going UFL directly to the VTX. That's really, really important. Also, if you're using 3D printed TPU here, make sure it's not... These love to like kind of rotate. You'll know what I mean if you're using them. You'll have seen it happen before. There we go. So that's good. Right in here, if you're using a 3D printed TPU thing, right in here you want to make sure that there's good retention on the wire of the antenna itself, because when this thing starts to go crashing through trees, the branches are going to grab the head of the antenna and pull, and you want the retention to come from here. You don't want the strength to come from the UFL where it meets the VTX. So make sure that you've got like a zip tie or some welder or a little bit of both, like I do in this case. Check your motor wires. Make sure that they're sitting nice and flat here on the insides, so that they don't want to come up and get hung up in the props. And I need a couple things real quick here. Hold on. Hold on, please. Yeah, I need some... Why are there only 3 nuts here? Where'd the 4th nut go? Did I eat it?
I can't take any more.
Have I eaten it?
You lost me at nut face.
I ate it. Nut face, bro. What you know about them?
Bro is even worse.
What you know about them nut faces?
Oh.
All right, so we got 3 little plastic nutties. Just gonna throw these fellas on here. This is a job for a nut driver. This ESC does not have rubber grommets, so I'm just gonna crank these guys all the way down. I do have enough thread here for nylock nuts, but I'll use these plastic guys. They're fine. I go back and forth. Sometimes I use nylock, sometimes I use these plastic guys. Plastic ones save you a little bit of weight, but they will strip out eventually. They're fine for a while though. They work surprisingly well. And there we go. Got the microphone in here. Got this little guy tucked away. Let me just pull this little antenna plug out ever so slightly. And yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. This guy I'm just going to rotate out a little bit. And cool, let's put power to it and see if it blows up. I think I might have already powered this thing up, but no, I didn't. You know, I didn't because the motors weren't hooked up. So let's see what happens. We're going to use our ViFly Short Stopper 2, which has an on-off button. And let's see. Oh, it just blew up. Great. All right. Flight controller shit the bed. Awesome. What the fuck? It blew up on 1 amp. Why? you guys see the smoke? Fuck you, Clam Man. I am giving up. It's 8:50. The flight controller just blew up. Oh. No.
Oh no, what happened?
Flight controller blew up on 1 amp.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
I lost a flight controller today too. On 1 amp on your smoke stopper dealio?
Yep.
Where is it?
Shot smoke out and everything.
Is that a pyro? What is that?
Yep, it is. See if it does it again.
Oh, fuck no. Why? What the fuck?
I mean, we talked about doing a show where we just stream where we just blow shit up.
Oh, fuck you. On 1 amp too.
Oh, there it goes, tripping.
Yeah, it's tripping.
Yeah, we're on 2. Let's enforce that
It's
motherfucker.
on 2. ESC's fine.
It's not new, is it?
Flight controller's blown up. Everything's new in this now.
What?
Alright, well, the Basher glide builds repair.
Oh yeah, it's got the smells, bro.
Never to be finished. I'm gonna get caught up on chat and I'm gonna shut this fucker down before I smash everything in sight. God damn it, Larry. Ramdongo says XJet did a nice little video with the hybrid 4K. Very cool. Espander says, sent you some pics on Facebook. Nice, I'll check them out after this. Athix says, so someone had drones stuck on a bridge. Yes. Smooth and Groovin says, which newbie drone whoop motor KV should I get for indoor bashing light freestyle? The only motors to get for tiny whoops, 65mm motor tiny whoops are the 0802 25,000 kV. TinyWhoop.com sells them. Happy Model also sells them. That's what you want. Fairly Functional says, hey bro, hope your day didn't suck. My day was great, just now sucked though.
360 and a fucking flight controller.
Yeah, that's true.
I lost
guess
the flight
this was a rough
controller.
day. Smooth and Groovin says, also, which portable soldering iron? I am a fan of the Secure D60. Yeah, the Secure D60. It's cheap and
It works.
it just works, yeah. It's not as fancy as the TS100, but who cares? It's cheaper. Scott FPV says, it is, right? Scott FPV says, what do you think of the Flywoo NIN 1404 V2 4850 for a ripsqueak? I think that they're one of the Nachi motors. I've got a live stream. Scott, go into my videos and search for 1404. I've got a live stream where I compare like 6 different 1404s. All that being said, never mind. Don't get any 1404s for a ripsqueak. Get the iFlight Zing 1504s. That is, I believe, my new favorite motor for the ripsqueak. Demenis says those 1306 motors sound interesting. They are interesting. I've had RCX 1306s for like over 2 years now. They're a great motor. Sway on FPV says, put an XM Plus on top of my Rush Racing VTX, and now for some reason I can't get good video. After moving 2 meters, the video goes to static. Any idea what's going on? Shouldn't have anything to do with the XM Plus. I would check your wiring, check all that stuff, or maybe the VTX just shit the bed. The tiny little VTXs are not great. Ramdonko says, RIP SQ ARMS CiottiFPV so good for learner, me, and changeable. That's just a series of random words put together, as far as I can tell. Ram, tag me again. I don't know what. I have no clue what those words mean in that sequence. JT Custom Knives says, remember to use only your fingers for your nuts. Indeed. Scroll. Rob Logan says, you didn't use the loop. I didn't. It could have been a solder ball. Ramdonko says, true FPV Shizen. Ram, you okay? Rob Axelson says, so what smoke stopper are you using?
This is the most amazing smoke shop ever.
Yeah, the good one. The Vifly V2. This is the one that you want. This is the first time that it's failed on me. Interesting.
That is interesting. That is
right?
a failure.
Yep. It didn't trip. Well,
on 1 amp though. Wait,
1 amp was enough to blow up whatever was fucked up. So we can't really blame.
I guess that's right. If you did it at
I guess
half
we
amp.
can, right? If they built like a half amp mode in, maybe it would have tripped.
But that's pretty. I mean, that means something was flawed from the very get.
I think so
Or it was
too.
grounded
And
even.
somebody in the chat last week, I want to say, said that their Pyro drone blew up right away too. That same flight controller. So maybe they had a bad run or something like that. Rob Axelson, this is the same glide from last week. FPV Trucker says, I never see you check with a multimeter before you plug in. Yeah.
Never had to.
I've never had to. Yeah. Kevin Summer says, what flight controller was that? It's the Pyro drone flight controller. I think they had a bad run, like I was just saying. Rob Axelson says, with the guy over, you shouldn't name the stream 5-in Friday. That's for the ladies. Oh, 5-inch Friday, right? Raven187 says, I bet you're going to fall in love with the Mamba stacks. I've never killed one. I hope so. Ramdonko says, the Ripsqueak has interchangeable arms. It does indeed. It's one of my favorite things about the Ripsqueak frame. I'm going to leave it there. Everybody go watch Bot Grinder. It is 8:57. You've got 3 minutes to get high as hell before Bot comes on.
Wow.
And then you can get even higher while you're watching them. Thanks for hanging out, boys and girls. Short stream today. This was a crazy week. I just need to fucking relax and have a night to chill and hang with my buddy Patrick.
Hey, random piece of knowledge. NVIDIA is buying up ARM. These guys right here on this chip.
Are they?
Yeah, they're buying the chip company ARM. We're just waiting for some SEC approval.
Smoke came from the bottom, by the way.
It smells, but you can't. I was trying to find if it was a cap or something, but
Yeah, we'll look at it in a minute.
that's the only thing I can see here.
Strange. All right, boys and girls, thanks for hanging out. Here's a little bit more flying from today, or not, because the computer shit the bed and everything went to hell. Hold on, let me just reopen this. And epidemic sound. Okay, we got that, and then I want to come in here, and here's the memory card from today. There we go. MP4. This looks like a good one. Enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for celebrating my pain with me. I'll see you guys on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Later.
Thank you. Wish I could say I was finally over you, but that's not the truth. Everyone always keep falling in love again. The fuck's wrong with them? I don't understand. Maybe it will pass by. Someone save me for a pass out. I'm too lonely to be done. I'm a drink at this place. Yeah. Why am I the only one who's left in the rain with nobody to hold on to? Why am I the only one who's feeling this pain when there should be two of us? And yeah, I know we both wanted different things, but letting go just comes easy to you, don't it? Why am I the only one who's left in the rain? If I had an option to be someone else, I would, and let go of you. I know that I'm obvious, fuck it, I'm made this way. But why didn't I stay when I had the chance? Maybe it will pass by. Someone say